It's time for Chat with Chuck, live from Windsor, California, discussing stuff on Chuck's mind, life, attitudes, and stuff. And now, your host, Chuck the DJ.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome in. Once again, Dance DJ Deb. Oh man, even before I logged on, Dance DJ Deb was in the chat. Tennessee Girl, welcome in. Sam Nation, how you doing? I think I saw DJ Hack. And our pro lurker is out there somewhere hanging out, lurking about. Thank you all for being here on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. And I missed last week. I had a gig. So many DJs in the world, they say, "Oh, we shouldn't use the word gig. It doesn't sound very professional. You're supposed to use event." And I use gig a lot. But actually, you know what? I probably use gig a lot when I'm talking to other DJs or people within the industry. But probably when I'm talking to a client or a potential client, I probably do say event or celebration or something along those lines. I don't usually do that. DJ Hack in the house. How you doing, Hack? Tennessee Girl, thank you for holding the fort down. I do appreciate that. Hope you're feeling better. We all know Tennessee Girl has her ups and downs, and hopefully today she's having an up. So we're good to go that way, and I do appreciate it. I do appreciate her being here so much. And her birthday is in December, and if I'm not mistaken, we're going to do a little birthday stream for Tennessee Girl. I might do an all K-pop birthday stream for Tennessee Girl. Might throw some Lenny Kravitz in there because she likes Lenny too. But that's in December. We'll see what rolls out between now and then. So. Thank you all for being here. I do appreciate it. We got some fun stuff we're going to talk about today. If anybody of you are paying attention, we are once again going to touch a little bit on LFG. We're going to talk about some streaming DJs, and then I'm going to blow my own horn a little bit. Which, gee, wow, Chuck blowing his own horn. There's a surprise. Because this month does mark a special anniversary for me, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Yeah, that goes against the TOS. Yeah, I'm not supposed to talk about myself, Hack. Hack and I the other night I did my first ever what do we call it? Join chat, shared chat event, and that was. That was weird, to be honest. It was a little wonky. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know really what to do and how to do. It was funny reading the chat for the people that were watching the Hackster, and I took it like a champ. Thank you. And a couple times there were people commenting on songs that he was playing that. When I first read it, I was like, what are they talking about? Oh, it's Hack song. Oh, okay. All right. I don't remember. I think we both had a theme going on. I think yours was women music or something. I can't remember what I was doing. Chris, how you doing? Welcome in. Thank you for popping here. I do appreciate you popping in. Evil Sport. Welcome. How you doing? Yes, you get a one-on-one time with the Chuckster. Yes. Hack was doing female vocalist. I think I was just doing open format or rock or something. But yeah, it was interesting having the people in the chats, and I'm not techie enough, and I think Hack is, but I'm not techie enough to have a monitor to see what Hack was doing. Either his videos or just him in general. So I was completely in the blind. I had no idea what was going on over on the Hacks channel. You find Lurker says they find the shared chat very confusing. And I did too. It was kind of fun. I'm not really sure. Chris, thank you. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm not really sure what the shared chat is supposed to accomplish. So if anybody has an idea of why they started the shared chat, if there was a plan. Now, I could hope that maybe I get more viewers from it. people that maybe hadn't seen me or heard of me. Maybe with Hack. I wouldn't want people to like leave my channel to go to Hack's or Hack's channel to come to mine. That's amazing. Evil Spork, I'm good. My husband's manager brought them all a ton of best tacos in town, and they're like the best they've ever had. Such an experience, and they had left over, so I'm eating them. So freaking good. So I I like Taco Bell, so I'm I am not the taco connoisseur. Chris, hello from Florida, all the way back east. My mom and dad moved to Florida years and years ago, and North Reddington Beach, which was outside of Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. And they enjoyed it until they died. But that's, it's such as life, right? My mom and dad, saved and saved and saved and scrimped and saved. And, here in California, and when they got the money, they decided that which is what I guess their generation did. They moved to Florida. Son surfed. They were both golfers, and through the end of their lives, they had a good time there until they both passed. They both died in Florida. So that kind of weird, but yeah, that's what they do. The humidity in Florida, I'm not real proud of or happy with. I went there and visited them a couple times. I am a fan of the West Coast, Evil Spork, so stop it. But yeah, I lived on the West Coast and Hawaii, so yeah, we are West Coast people. Yeah, I mean, the West Coast of Florida, I meant. Oh, okay, all right. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah. So that's I already got off on a tangent and stuff like that. We're as you know, if you've been here enough, we're just trying to kill a few minutes for any people that want to pop in and say hi and stuff like that before we start to get into the meat and of things today. The Gulf Coast is that my parents I think lived on the Gulf Coast. Lurkin Lurker says, I think the shared chat increases your viewer count, and it does, but I still don't know what that accomplishes. It does like when I'm looking on my Twitch thing and I see my friends are on and they're doing a shared chat and there's 300 people and that person's got 20 and that person's got 80 and that person's got whatever, and that's great, and I guess was that the point of them starting a shared chat, was that your numbers go up? I'm assuming that if you're, and I don't know if it counts for partners, if you were on a partner run and you're doing shared chat, your numbers would go up. Whether those numbers, they count those numbers on your partner, application, I don't know. Tennessee says I don't see any other reason. Yeah, I mean it was an experience, and I mean if Hack, what do you call it, knocks on my door again, and I'll let him in, and we'll do it again. I don't know if I would reach out to anybody else to do it. Like I say, the best part would be that hopefully that maybe if there's somebody that's got a couple hundred people in their room, and I happen to knock on their door, and maybe people would see there. I think I got one new follower from Hack's group, but how many times do you actually follow somebody, even on raids? I think, what was it, Saturday night? Saturday I streamed. I had three raids, two or three raids. I think I had 3 raids, and with those 3 raids that I got, I think I got 3 new followers, maybe 4. So. Even the raids. Last night, I got a nice raid from DJ Profit. I think 40 some odd people, whatever. I didn't get any new followers from that. Even the rating function is great. It's nice to get new people in your chat, and it's nice to have people chatting. It's great. I enjoy that. But does it really accomplish anything? For anyone who doesn't know, Florida is a peninsula. It sticks out there in the water. That's what I get. So, I'm hearing a little clicky in my thing. So, I'm not really sure what's going on with that. So, but anyway, all right. So we've killed a few minutes, and so there was Florida is America's Wang. Okay, hack. So there were a couple things that I wanted to touch bases on, and the first thing I will touch bases on is the blowing my own horn thing. This October, today, this month, actually here, 2025, actually marks my 40th year as a full-time mobile DJ. It was in the October of 1985 is when I stepped away from what my parents used to call my real job, and I said I'm done with the real job. I was doing the real job and a DJ job at the same time. I've been doing a DJ job for a lot longer, actually. We won't get into that. Some of you know that already. But I was doing the two job thing, real job during the week and then the DJ thing on the weekends and whenever. And it got to the point to where I was either having to take more time off on my real job because I had a gig, because I made more money on a night with my DJ gig than I would the whole week on my real job. And I was a union butcher in a grocery store in my real job, so it was a real gig. So it got to the point to where I was like, okay, so I need to make a decision here. And about, I don't know, 6-7 months before that, I got a divorce, and so it was just me at that point. And so I felt like, okay, well, here's the thing. Here's it's just me now. So if I fall flat and die or whatever, it's just me. It's not my wife, and I'm not trying to support. So it's just me. So what do I do? Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Welcome in, by the way. So 40 years, I had an agent that was booking me, and I was a school DJ. I was doing school dances. I talked to him and I said, what do you think? I mean, he told me, so he gave me some advice that I have passed along with varying degrees of success. He told me at the time, he goes, if you want to make it as a full-time DJ, quit your day job, because you won't do whatever is necessary to make it as a mobile DJ as long as you have that safety net. So quit your day job. Go completely into the DJ world, and whatever it takes, that's what you do. And I took that and I ran with it. And I got a mark in the world of DJ world. I got into the conventions. I was doing the Mobile Beat magazine. I was doing their convention. DJ Times magazine. I was doing their conventions. They were flying me out. I was doing seminars and panels on school dances, on DJs. I wrote for the magazines. I had my little piece of whoop-de-doo at that point in time. I was somebody. I was inducted into the Mobile DJ Hall of Fame in Las Vegas 2 years ago, primarily on what I had done in the past, and that was that. Radioactivity, nice to see you in. Thank you so much. How you doing? So October 1985 is when I made the leap, and other than I've had a few little, like when I moved to Maui. I worked for the agent that was booking me, also did production, decor and stuff, and I did that. Thank you, Evil Sport. Appreciate that. And so anything I've done in these last 40 years has been DJ oriented. Now, for those of you who know, the golf course, okay, I work 2 days a week on Mondays and Wednesdays at the golf course, 3 or 4 hours a day, as a marshal, and I get free golf out of that, and I get a little money on the side of that. But that's just to keep myself in golf, and I do enjoy that. And if I do ever retire, the working at the golf course will get me out of the house and give my wife a little chance to have some free time without me. So. I look forward to that. I don't know if I will ever actually completely retire. I don't do school dances anymore. I haven't done school dances for about 8 years, and so now I'm primarily a wedding or corporate DJ. I also do a few things. I do karaoke. I do some game show. I do a version of the Family Feud, and that's kind of popular. Um, DJing, and for those of you that follow me on Facebook, last Saturday I did a corporate event. It was probably the best dancing crowd I've ever had. And sometimes I start thinking that I'm 69 years old and I'm gonna age out of this thing. I'm just not gonna happen. Then I go do an event like that and just completely rock the socks off to people. And it's like it's good for the soul, and it's like, yep, I can keep doing this. And I'm not a mixer. I'm not a great mixer. I'm okay. I can get by, but I don't do the quick mixing or the club style mixing, but I have a good time. I enjoy it. So anyway, that's that. That's the 40-year celebrations this month. I'm pretty pleased with myself. My wife and I call it riding the wave. We rode the wave for a long time, and it's been good. It's been good. I do love what I do. I'm fortunate. I joke about that I push play for a living, and there's obviously a lot more that goes into it. If any of you are mobile DJs or DJs, there it is more than just pushing play. So anyway, that's that. So. I have a couple other things that I want to talk about, and I thought I was done with this discussion. I really did. I thought I was done talking about LFG, but I'm not. And the main reason I'm not done talking about LFG, and I thought I was going to be done talking about LFG, but the main reason I'm not is I got this letter, and maybe some of you got it too. I don't know. I jumped on LFG when it first came out, and I am considered a founder. I have a founder button. I haven't streamed on LFG yet. As soon as I get somebody to figure out to show me how to restream, I might do that. But I don't really have a high opinion of trying to change format or programs, systems, whatever. But I got this email. Maybe some of you got it also, and LFG is. They're opening up an exclusive investment opportunity for a small piece of equity and ownership in LFG TV platforms. Thank you, Heck. Yeah, so basically what they're saying is buy into the company. Here we go. We have a startup. We think it's going to rock. You can buy in, invest into it. I didn't look into it. To see, what's the deal? What do I got to do? How much money do I have to put into it? Because I have no intention of doing it. I am not that positive about LFG. I would love to see it happen. I would have loved to seen Kick take off, but it didn't happen. I don't see it happening. But please prove me wrong. Honestly, best wishes to LFG. Prove me wrong, please, and make me kick myself in the ass 5 years from now when LFG is like the biggest thing on the fucking planet, and I didn't invest in it. And that's a biggie. Chris got that email also. Hack says will not give Joe Ventura any money after all of his scams and MLM. I'm not really sure what all that is. I don't know who's behind LFG. I know that there's a lot of great DJs that are supporting it. I saw a thing on IG today from DJ Controversial, and he was what's the word I'm looking for? I hate it when I can't find a word. He was mentioning that he has made more money off LFG with the 400 followers that he has on LFG than he has on Twitch with the 15,000 followers that he has on Twitch. Okay, and I understand some of the DJs out there are all about the money and they're trying to make a living on streaming. God love you. I wish when I started 5 years ago, I'd hope that would happen for me, but it hasn't. But that's okay. Paul, how you doing? Paul says if it doesn't get an emote wall pretty soon, I don't think it's going to happen. Well, yeah, there's a couple of things. So anyway, that's the email is what kind of got me off on my LFG kick again. So I have been trying to pay more attention. I have been trying to log on to LFG and as a viewer and watch like KGB. I was watching DJ KGB this morning, or KGB DJ, excuse me. I watch Alpha, DJ Alpha Music, a lot, and when I was in KGB's chat this morning, I think the high was 11 people, but I think most of the time it was around 7 or 8. And a little bit of chatting. Me and another guy were chatting, but not a lot going on. Not a lot going on. But again, I hope that it does. Now, the emote wall. Yeah, Paul, I agree with that. As a viewer, we like to have our little toys, right? And we are used to those toys. Damn, Pete, how you doing? Welcome in. We are used to those toys with Twitch, right? Tennessee Rose didn't come in because he was playing a lot of rap. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of rap, but I was trying to be supportive. I was trying to be there, and he got into some Halloween music too, and that was pretty. He had some pretty cool remixes actually too, but he was a little bit on the rappy side. But yeah, so the emote wall, that's a biggie. And then the other thing that when LFG first came online, one of the really, really cool features, Volvo, you were there too? Okay. One of the really cool features was the automatic song title generator. When the DJ would play a song, it would automatically come up on top saying, hey, this is, YMCA by the Village People, or whatever the case may be, which is something that I've always wanted to get on my Twitch channel, but I've just never done it. And I noticed it a couple of days ago. I was watching Alpha, I think, and it wasn't working. And I thought, well, okay, Alpha's, he's remixing and he's wiggying, and maybe the algorithms have a hard time if you're DJing it up. And so this morning when I got on with the KGB, it wasn't working, and I happened to mention it in the chat, and he didn't know that it wasn't working. And he said something, and then I can't remember the guy's name, or I shouldn't say guy. I have no idea if it was a guy or girl. The person's name in the chat, and it said it hasn't been working for a couple of weeks. Yeah, Tennessee Girl likes that feature too. So are we already experiencing glitches? When it came online, that was one of the big things. Oh yeah, songs, and that's great. I don't know why they don't have it. Somebody mentioned, well, maybe it's a music rights thing on there. You average 3 viewers on LFG, Chris. That's actually more viewers than I averaged when I was on Kick. Hack says that is a great feature. It seems to be working better than when it first started. Well, Hack, it's not working right now at all. So I don't know. When it first started, it was great. Now I understand, there are DJs, a lot of DJs, they play remixes, or maybe they play mashups, or they play songs that maybe the algorithm, however it works, has a hard time finding or recognizing. Maybe that's a better word. But I hope they get it together. And what I would like to see, and what would really push me to stream more over there, would be if I started seeing more viewers. I'm a follower. I'm not a trendsetter, right? So if I see a bunch of people over there and I think, oh yeah, that'd be fun, let's go over there. I tried to be a trendsetter on Kick. I was one of the first cats on Kick, but and restreaming, on Kick and Twitch, which is restreaming is a pain in the ass. You got to have 2 monitors and you got to pay attention, and we've talked about that stuff before, but so I don't know. Yeah, so my hope is that LFG does take off. And more power to them. They from a DJ standpoint, if you have supporters in your channel, if you're getting people that are dropping coins, they call it there, or I don't know if they call it subscribing to your channel or whatever, you do make more money, and which was the big push on Kick. You make more money. And I hope LFG does take off, because now TwitchCon was last weekend, and down in the San Diego area. I don't know a whole lot of people that actually went to a TwitchCon. I was kind of surprised that there wasn't on Twitch, that there wasn't just like a 24/7 streaming channel that was always on your viewers, friends list, whatever. And if it wasn't on mine. I didn't see it on mine, and I looked for it a couple of times. DJ Ryan, my Pookie in the house. DJ Ryan, my main mod. How you doing, Rai? Ryan's at work. So yeah, TwitchCon. I was expecting a little bit more. I did. The only person I actually saw streaming from TwitchCon, and again, just my stream, was Amaranth, and I do follow Amaranth. I think she's funny, and she was there, and I didn't like hang out on her chat and stuff, but I did click on Amaranth a few times just to see what was going on, and it was mainly she was there hanging around. Damn, Pete, you were there. It was a bunch doing it. I don't. What do you mean, Pete? I don't understand. So the one individual that I did talk to briefly that was there, and you know me, I don't like dropping names. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But from a DJ standpoint, TwitchCon was not worth his particular time. I mean, the event was cool. There was a lot going on, but from a DJ standpoint, there apparently wasn't a lot going on. Now he gave me a number, and I'm going to I'm going to assume it's right or whatever, and I'm not really sure. I'm assuming he got the number down there because he was there. But the DJ world on Twitch represents about 3% of the Twitchiverse, right? 3%, 1, 2, 3, right? Of 8 that were there, they were all taking turns streaming it. I wish I would have seen some of it, Pete. I know DJ Apollo was on one of the stages. Unfortunately, it was during a time where I had a gig and I couldn't watch him. So hopefully they were doing something good. I think from what little I gathered, TwitchCon, they also have seminars and workshops and whatnot, info stuff like that. But not a lot of stuff for DJs. That's kind of the vibe I got. I could be wrong because I wasn't there, and I'm getting my stuff second and third hand. So if I lived in the area, I might have gone. If I lived down the LA area and it was just an hour or two drive, I would have grabbed Ryan and thrown him in the car, and we would have gone down, and we would have hung out at TwitchCon. I'm sure, just if nothing else, just to see what was going on, just to see Amaranth. But I don't know. So I wish that when we're in the DJ world, we're here DJing. We think that they should do more of this, they should do more of that for us. But again, we're 3% of the Twitchiverse. I mean, if every DJ left Twitch, they wouldn't give a damn. They'd probably be glad. They go, oh my God, we don't have to deal with that whole music thing anymore. Go away. Maybe they're this close to banning DJs. I don't know. But 3% is not anything that they're probably even concerned about. So anything. I love it when you grab me too, Ryan. Not anything that we need to be, or that they need to be concerned about. Which is why some of the things that are going on aren't done as quickly, because there's like, well, whatever, let's take care of our main source of income, the gamers, as far as the DJs go, whatever. All right, so that's my rant on LFG and my rant on TwitchCon. From what little I know, if anybody has any info on TwitchCon, I'd love to hear your input, thoughts, ideas. Again, as I said this before, chat with Chuck. I love hearing from the chat, so please feel free to chime in. Sam Nation says, I'm surprised it's as high as 3%. because all we do is hang out with DJs. I thought it would be more, Sam, to tell you the truth. But that's because we live in the DJ world. I don't go to any gamers. The closest thing to a gamer that I know is Dan Pete. I only know 3 people that went to TwitchCon. They were all gamers, not DJs. Hackman says. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's TwitchCon. I don't. Yeah, I wish I had more. I much more had. Mr. Lattenhouse says, "I live in the golf world now." Welcome in, actually, Mr. Lattenhouse. Oh, Jadzia. More power to you, babe. How you doing, Jadzia Dex? And then again, everybody says this, and I know that nobody ever does it because I don't get. But follow these people: Mr. Lattenhouse, Sam Nation, Jadzia, Ryan, all these Hackman. All right, Chris asked me a question here. Okay, Chris says, since I've been DJing you for 100 years, LOL. What's your worst and best IRL gig? IRL gig. Well, Well, my best, I mean, honestly, I just talked about this a couple seconds ago. I think my best company party ever, honestly, for some weird reason, just last weekend. I mean, there was 200 people. They were doctors and nurses, and boy, how do I get this right? Fetal medicine, right, for babies, right? So, and they were from all over the world. And one of the things they did was they welcomed in their new president of their organization. He was from Sweden. And these people were from all over the world. And I mean, anything from the brand new Taylor Swift song to, Shout by the Isley Brothers, Great Balls of Fire to Uptown Funk. I mean, it didn't matter what I dropped. They just completely went nuts. And I'm not sure that I've ever had that event where I felt like I could just close my eyes, throw up a song, and hit play and let it go. But it was like that. I mean, it was an amazing company party. My worst gig was going back to the school days, and it was at a place called Kelseyville High School. Ryan might know where it's at. It's, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours from my house. It was a school dance. I was hired to do the school dance. I get up there, and at that point, I was doing most of my shows by myself. So I got up there early, got into the gym. I set up my big sound. Set up my big lights. I went to turn my music on, and my mixer was dead. And I mean, dead. No place, out in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't rip over to Radio Shack to get it. Dan Pete doesn't do music anymore; just do games. Okay. In my travels in the gym, as I was setting stuff up, I found an old PA amplifier that they use for making announcements inside the gym. I pulled that out. I set that up on top of my speakers. I thought, okay, great. Now I have a microphone. I got some old PV speakers that were there. I could use that for there. I was using tape decks at the time. I was managed to put one tape deck. I patched it into the power amplifier, into one power amplifier to one set of speakers. I put another tape deck directly into a power amplifier into the other set of speakers. Figuring, okay, well, now it's going to sound funny. It's only going to come on one side, but it's gonna work. I go, okay, I've got my microphone. I can talk. I can play music. It'll be funky, but at least I can play music. I can get through the dance. That was okay. The dance was supposed to start at 8 o'clock, right? At 8:45, nobody had shown up. Nobody had shown up. Yes, Sam Nation MacGyver. At 9:15, the only people that were there were the chaperones and the dance committee, right? At 9:30, the lady, the head chaperone lady, teacher in charge, came up to me and said, she goes, I guess nobody's coming. You can go ahead and shut down. So we got bubble gum and glue. So I shut down. Now, I had done dances at this school for a few years, and I did a few more after that. And if I remember correctly, the word that I'd gotten was that there was some sort of problem, battle, argument, fight within the football community. It just, and they all got mad and they were like, we're not going to the dance. And so nobody showed up. Drama, exactly. Yes, I had an 8-track tape player, Ryan, back then too. That's why I kind of kept it going. So that was weird. Now that was, potentially that could have really been, had that been a full room of 1,000 kids, which is what we were expecting, or 800, something like that. It would have been a weird. It would have been a weird night and really chalked up as probably like my worst gig ever. But it was probably one of the most stressful gigs because of the situation. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Can I sneak it through? Can I sneak it through? Can I sneak it through? Weird. It was weird. We talked about this a couple weeks ago about a wedding that I did years ago up at a place called Konaktai, and some of you, if you've been here before, you know this story. And I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. 300 people were supposed to be there. There's like 20 or 30 people ended up showing up. There was like 280 people that didn't show up at this wedding. And the thing that I remember mostly from that wedding were the racks and racks of pre-made salads in the kitchen and all the empty chairs at the wedding. And I have no idea whatever happened. I have no idea why 280 people did not show up at this couple's wedding. I would have loved to have gotten the backstory. Obviously, I have no idea. I don't know if they're even still married. But that was probably but that wasn't my fault. I was like, whatever, yes. And I still got paid. Yeah. Cause I got paid in advance. Ryan and we're professional DJs. We do not leave the house if we haven't already been paid. So, unless it's my agent, that's a different story. But if it's a private gig, if it's a Chuck gig or a Ryan gig, we get paid. I get paid 2 weeks in advance. So, that's, whatever happens, that's that. KGB in the house. We were just talking about you. We mentioned his name 3 times and he pops in the house. So yeah, even though all those people didn't show up, I still got paid, and any DJ, if you're a mobile DJ and if you're out there on the road, if you don't get paid ahead of time, you're stupid. Do not wait till the end of the day. Now, I know some people think that, oh, hey, I want to get paid at the end of the night because if they pull their checkbook out, or it gives them more reason to give you a tip, right? And I kind of used to think that. But you know what? Charge enough so it doesn't matter if you get a tip. Tips are always great, just like biddies and subs. They're always great, but that's not why you're doing it, right? So that's that. Okay. Now, I'm running out of time here, and on the main meat of my discussion, I sent an email out, a questionnaire a few weeks ago because I thought I was going to do this last week, but I got a gig and I couldn't do it. I was curious about DJs that stream for hours on end, hours and hours and hours. Why? What do you think about it? I know we have a couple long-term streamers in here, or long-time streamers, mega streamers. I called it mega streamers on my thing. And so I sent out a questionnaire. And again, I'm not going to out anybody. And this individual says, I wonder too why people stream for that long. I'm very active when I stream, so my body can't handle standing and jump around for that long. Haha. But also, aside from the physical stuff, I have too much else in my day and too much else to do in my day that streaming for long hours is not conducive to my lifestyle. I think if I didn't work a full-time job, have a family, and have other hobbies, and keeping up with the home stuff, then I'd also stream long hours. But to be blunt, I have a life outside of Twitch. That is so true. And yeah, that's I love that. Next one says, I'm kind of whipping through some of these because I know we're a little short on time. Great topic. So my longest stream was 22 hours, and I did it because I was lonely and drinking a lot. Now my community respects me, and I respect them. And I think that maybe when Twitch first started, when we all started streaming, maybe we did stream a little bit longer because it was new. It was wacky. We were drinking more. We've talked about that last couple weeks ago. Yeah, Sam Nation, there is life outside Twitch, but it is an addiction. And boy, it is addiction more for me than a lot of you. Some of you know that story. This one says, I think it's a great idea. They keep a huge following and maintain viewers. physically, I don't know how they do it. And that's true too. It's hard. Now, when I'm DJing, and Ryan's the same way, when we're DJing, we stand up. We don't sit down, right? Now, I've done I think I've done 3 12-hour streams on my birthday, and we don't sit down. We stand the whole time. Yeah, that's a little physically demanding. I get that. Another individual here says, I do it because it helps me cope with what I'm going through. This is an individual that streams long hours. It helps me cope through what I'm going through. Music heals me. From the moment when I play music, I feel so much better. It makes all my problems go away. Compression socks for the win. Thank you, Radioactivity. So yeah, I mean, and music does. It does. It makes you feel better. You're having a bad day, put music on. Mr. Lattenhouse says, I wonder why Chuck the DJ came back. I thought he was done. Someone dragged him back to Twitch. Yeah, some of you knows, I think 3 times I have said I'm done with Twitch. I'm done with streaming. Why am I doing this? Screw this. I'm tearing this crap down. I'm pulling the green screen down. I'm packing it all up. I'm putting it away. I'm done with this. What a pain in the ass. And then Mr. Lattenhouse throws a raid train. And he invites me into it, and he's like, "Oh, come on!" And I'm like, "Oh crap! All right." And at that point, I get back into it. And it's so if anybody drags me back into streaming, it's Mr. Lattenhouse's fault. DJ Hack says, I do long streams because pre-stream prep is 60 to 90 minutes. So if I only stream an hour, it doesn't seem worth it. Now, Hack, I get that. There are a couple DJs that I know. Ryan's kind of in the same way. I'm lucky where I have this stuff set up all the time. I have my garage, and I have my green screen. I have my camera. I bought a separate controller just for streaming and yada, yada, yada. So my stuff is set up all the time. So I can just, at any point in time, I can walk out and 10 minutes on, I can be on. There is no prep for me. I don't prep my music. I have no idea what I'm playing. So other than if I pick a theme, even when I do like last night, Yacht Rock theme, I have no idea what Yacht Rock songs I'm going to play. I just, rock or mellow nights and, whatever, rock night. I don't know. I just go into it. On Raid Train, same way. DJ Ryan says, for me, doing longer streams, it's because I enjoy playing music, but also I don't stream a lot. So when I stream, I like to play for a while, at least 4 hours or so. And that's a short stream for Ryan. Ryan used to stream a lot longer. But yeah, and I because this stuff is set up all the time, and my wife goes to bed at 9:00, as some of you know already, and I stream at night. I can stream, 7 days a week if I want. But that's, kind of what I ever do, Tennessee Girls, I love it when I play K-pop. Or I love it when you play K-pop for me too much, and I appreciate that. Yes, I got that. Tennessee Girl, and I don't play enough K-pop for you because you're an amazing mod, and I do appreciate it. Paul says, I like your mellow streams. Thank you. Monday night mellow and Wednesday night hump night mellow. Hump night mellow is what I usually try to do. And as much as I try to be on Mondays and Wednesdays, I also have the attitude of, you know what? I don't have to be. So if I don't want to be, if I don't feel like it, I won't do it. That was one of the things about me coming back to Twitch, was that I except for this show right here, Tuesdays, which I really try to be here at 4:00 on Tuesdays. I'm like, I don't want to have to be there. I don't want to have that pressure. I want to be able to come and go as I please. Sure, there are weeks where I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If I'm not on, if I don't have a DJ gig, I'll stream all the time. But I don't have to be. I don't want to have to be. That's one of the things I have a problem with some of my with maintaining viewers. Well, is he on tonight? Is he not? I don't know. Is he on tonight? I don't know. What the hell is he playing? I don't know. So anyway, all right. This one's kind of long. With the simplest explanation is because they are having fun. Before I started consistently streaming longer hours, I would do most streams at 2.5 hours. If I went longer, it was because the energy and engagement in the stream made it a lot fun, so I kept going. Now that I'm 100% focused on this as my career, it's different. I've made a promise to my community, and as a thank you for everything that they've done for me, to always stream at least 3 hours. That gives them a longer guarantee window of time to be able to stop in and join my stream. So why do I stream almost 4 hours a stream or more when I promise 3? Several reasons. First is that the more you are on, the more visibility you have to other streamers who may want to raid me, but don't have the opportunity because I'm only on for 2. I get to see more streamers that are on that I can raid because I may not be able to raid them otherwise. Third, I may not make any money playing longer, but it's guaranteed I will make 0 if I'm not on. The fourth reason is the same as when I started out. I'm having fun, and so is the chat. Money is crucial for me because it's how I pay my bills, but it doesn't outweigh the fact that if we're if we're all having fun, I'll keep going. I once played 11 and a half hours and made no more than usual, but that was because the raids were coming in. The chat was super engaged, and all of us were having fun. I kept going. So, a full-time streamer, and I think the people that are full-time streamers, that's more important to them, to keep going and keep their viewers happy and keep it out there. Maybe if I streamed more, Saturday night, was it Saturday night? Sunday night. Sunday night, I think, I was on a raid train, and the gentleman before me got sick, and he couldn't make the train. So I went on 2 hours early. So I streamed for 4 hours, and I think I got 3 raids that night, and which is unusual for me. I got 2 raids last night, and, so yeah, and the more you're on, maybe the more raids you get. DJ Ryan says, same for me. I always play it by ear whenever I stream, or not each week, aside from monthly raid train that I always make sure I do. Yeah, Ryan does a Twangin' Tuesday on I don't know which Tuesday it's on, but once a month they do a Twangin' Tuesday. It's country themed, and he always makes sure he does that one. But he also has stuff going on, so if he can make it, he can. So and positive thoughts for your mom, by the way, right. Some do it when they first start out because it's new and exciting. Seems like most of the channels that still stream long hours are not on camera, so that helps. It seems hard to keep the chat engaged if you stream long hours. I think a lot of the long stream channels become lurking channels. I know Dance Dance DJ Deb. She's in the chat. We can talk about her. She's a mega freaking streamer. She's not on camera, or at least I should say rarely on camera. I think maybe I've seen you a couple times, but yeah. Radioactivity said, I cleaned my house this morning, jamming through. Oh yeah, KGB set. Yeah. We talked about KGB and LFG a little while ago. Yeah, and that's cool. When DC Artist, how you doing? Welcome in. When Mike Brady, another longtime streamer, or Dance Dance DJ Deb's a longtime streamer, although she streams a lot like at night, and I usually go to bed. But during the day, my wife and I always have music on during the day, and so yeah, I may not be. I'm a lurker. I may not be, adding a lot into the chat a lot of times, but we have somebody on, and we'll be listening. My wife and I both have different styles of taste of music that we like. So we're kind of all over the map. My wife is more alternative gothy, and I'm more poppy rocky. So yeah, we changed up. Boy, the chat's moving really fast. Thank you for keeping on top of it. Radioactivity and Tennessee Girl, I do appreciate that, Ryan. For those of you that are maybe going to watch back on this on the YouTube channel, thank you for putting up with me. Again, the chat sometimes throws me off my game a little bit. Mr. Lattenhouse says, I'm still waiting for my 1,000 bits a month for free from LFG that I won for life. Did you win 1,000 bits a month from LFG? Okay. Yeah, Ryan says, Dance Dance Deb is a mega streamer for sure. This one says here, for me, I'm a combat veteran, and long streaming really helps my PTSD. More positive, love that. Jadzia likes butts. She does. That's what she says. I like bits. Nope, I mean butts. I like. Is anybody doesn't like butts? I don't know. That's. This one says here, some people do it for a special one-off, like when I've done my 12-hour Christmas streams. Others do it to get followers and raids, especially overnight. I like it, and I think it's fine, you know. So yeah, so that's you know, positive stuff too. All right, my last one. She says, so let me start by saying, if you want to use my name for this one, you have my permission. Okay, so this is from Dance Dance DJ Deb right here. On Monday nights, when I do the lurk and work all night, it's my working night where I download all my videos, and I have to have music playing. So why not stream and meet new peeps? So she's streaming while she's getting stuff done. So that's interesting. Now I may not be there at times, and most of the time I am. My 80s night on Saturday night is a long stream too, because as myself, I love that era of music. Sundays is oldies, and I get a great crowd in for that, and I play all night for that one. Yeah, that's one of my favorite dance, because I'm old and I like oldies. So, but I'm, you know, if I stream on Sunday night, I rated Deb last night. But if I stream on Sunday nights, and by the time I go to bed, I'm done. And unfortunately, I'm a raid and run kind of guy, and I know that's not the best, but that's just kind of how I am. The Monday stream, I go for around over 10 hours, and then a raid into another lurk work channel. Continue working on downloading the videos. Since the accident, I had to replace my DJing with Twitch because I am now not able to do as much as I could. Falling and breaking 2 bones in your dominant hand and injury to the right arm and neck area. So it's easier for me to sit at home and sit in my chair and DJ. I have my good days and bad, but Twitch saved me. I like the fact that I can play as long as I want. The bad is what has happened with peeps that are bullies. Yes, we've had bully talks. So my peeps have dropped a bit, so I stay on longer and show peeps that I really can do what I can really do as a DJ, not as a streamer like some of them. Yeah, and Deb and I have talked about this a little bit, some of the bullying and stuff that happens on Twitch. We had a show a while back we did on drama on Twitch, and I'm sorry that crap happens. I really am, and I'm sorry that I've missed so much of the chat reading this stuff, because the chat's been flying as I was reading. But yeah, the drama on Twitch, you know, it's not fun, you know. I don't know how to avoid that. I have drama on the golf course. You know, on the golf course, there's people that like you. I'm president of the men's club. I have been for 5 years. This is actually my last year. And, you know, I know that there are people that I will say tolerate me, you know, and then there are people that love me. So, you know, the drama, the bullies, you know, whatever walk of life they come in, and you just have to, like, you know, Taylor Swift it. You have to shake it off. You know, it's sad. But, you know, hey, what? You know what? Not everybody's going to like me, you know. Not everybody's going to, you know, gonna appreciate what you're doing. Not everybody's going to support you, what you're doing. And especially, I think, when it comes to this, and especially when it comes to those of us that are, you know, just trying to get by, to be out here on Twitch and you're streaming, or you're hanging out, whatever, you know, it really, you're doing it because you love doing it, you know. DC artists, shake it off, and boundaries are good. Yeah, having your boundaries. If you're not watching DC artists on Saturday mornings, I love it. Yes, I did say I'm not only the president of the Hair Club for Men, I'm a member. DJ Ryan says, screw the bullies. I don't care how you feel about someone. There's zero call for treating people with disrespect. Just keep it to yourself. And that's a really good, you know, what's the old saying? If you can't say something nice, don't say anything. Don't say it at all. If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. Something along those lines. You know, Ryan is my pookie. We live a few minutes. Ban button, Jadzia. I try not to ban people from my chat. You know, I try to warn people. Fortunately, I don't get a lot of that in my chat. There's, you know, I mean, people. I have some weird people that come to my chat, and I don't exactly understand what they're saying sometimes, and I don't know if it's, you know, a cultural thing, or I don't. Not everybody gets my sense of humor. Ryan and I, Ryan and I rip on each other all the time because we're good buddies. We live on, we live 20 minutes away from each other, and we pick on each other endlessly. I'm sure there's people in our chat that when we're ripping on each other, they're like, what's going on there? That's rude. I don't think that's right. That's mean. But
DJ Ryan, what a dick.
I mean, you just have it, Tang is trying to lurk. Didn't have to call me out like that. Yes, I had Greg Murray making me a couple drops that said Ryan's a dick. I mean, again, you're going to have people in your chat, and, unless they're completely, totally rude, I try not to ban people. I don't ban people on things I've heard them do in other chats, and oh well, in XYZ's chat, this so and so said that and this that and they did this that, okay, great. Well, then so and so over there can ban them. But if you come into my chat and if you're respectful in my chat and you're okay, I'm all right with that. And as DJ, well, you're weird, so of course you're going to get all the weirdos in my chat. Yes. And so, yeah, so you know what? I mean, I don't know. I sympathize with Deb, who I know has had problems with that. I don't get too many drunks, Deb says, or the drunks. The bottom line is, according to Twitch Tracker, which we talked about this, I think last week. I'm trying to get the number. According to Twitch, I'll get it out. Twitch Tracker. Since I started streaming in March of 2020, my average viewers is 15. And sexist comments, Jadzia, if they're rude, I don't disagree with that. And I know for the women streamer, yeah, say that fast 10 times. For the women streamers, it's harder. I get that. Because men are dogs, and and some women are jealous. So rarely does anybody make any sexist comments about me. I would probably take it as a compliment, but yeah. So everybody has their own line in the sand. Is that what I want to say? Sam Nation says, I think women DJs have to be ready for a ban at all times. Yeah, and boundaries. Yeah, DC artists, you got to have boundaries. Because everybody's boundaries are going to be different. What one person puts up with, the other person might not. What one person won't put up with, the other person might. You got a long jacket. I do have a long jacket. So. As a streamer, it really just comes down to the fact that you have to do what you just have to do what you want to do, and you have to run your chat the way you want to run your chat. And it's just like a business owner should be able to run their business the way they want to run their business, but they should also be cognizant of the fact that their actions may cause fewer viewers, fewer people in their business, or more. You have to be responsible for the way that you run your show. And that's all you can do. Dance DJ Deb says she has a 3-strike policy. 1, you get a whisper. 2, you get told in chat. 3, you're timed out or banned. Yeah. One of my mods timed somebody out the other day, and that individual got mad. Sent me a whisper saying, hey, you timed me out. I'm out of here, and banned. I guess banned me. I couldn't even respond. I couldn't even respond to their whisper. Yeah, bye bye, see ya. And I know that. I mean, I don't know the guy, but the guy, came in fairly often. And he's just got a weird sense of humor, a weird way, a weird way of a tad off-putting, and just stepped over a line. But again, it happens. Learn to respect the channel. Yeah, that's very important. You don't like the channel, don't go in there. It's simple as that. Mr. Lattenhouse says, yeah. I mean, it's just like any other thing. Turn the channel, change your radio station. Change a CD. You don't like it, you don't have to be there. DJ Hack says, I know him. His chats are weird. Yes. I can't even go to his chats now. He's completely banned me. DJs deserve respect in their channels. What did Lockpick do now? I like Lockpick and Masarasa. Those guys are so cute. But yeah, so we've ranted for an hour, ladies and gentlemen. And rarely do I try to go longer than an hour. But I have covered the three things that I really wanted to cover. The No Pants crew. Mr. Lattenhouse says, keep ranting. The No Pants crew is a unique group of individuals, Jadzia. And I have a good time. Tang's an occasional line stepper. Tang, we probably all are. I don't know. My wife and I actually were just talking about me the other day, about how my spontaneity, my improv, my mind is quicker, or my mouth is quicker than my mind, because I will say something and then go, oh crap, I probably shouldn't have said that. So stepping over that line, yeah, that happens because I was going to say maybe most mobile DJs have this. I don't know if they all do, because we're in front of people and we're having to deal with weddings or corporate events, and stuff gets thrown at you, and you kind of like a stand-up comic. You're not necessarily getting heckled, but sometimes you got to be quick. You got to be able. You got to have that comeback. You got to be able to say something. You're gonna stand up for yourself, put that person in its place, whatever you want to call it. And I think I have that. Doesn't always come out the best. Sometimes I'm not the most PC individual, and I try to be. It's very important, but I try to be careful. But I know that sometimes I say stuff that will annoy people or bother some people. DC Artist says that's just being human. Dance Dance DJ Jeb says what peeps have to keep in mind is that some streamers are doing it for fun and some are doing it for income. Yeah, I don't know, Deb. I act the same in Ryan's chat as I do Apollo's chat, for example. Apollo, I love DJ Apollo. He's wacky and he is a full-time streamer. He does it for his income. And I am, I was going to say rude. It's not true. I'm wacky in his chat and I'm wacky in Ryan's chat. I do understand I'm not as wacky in Jadzia's chat, because I understand. I respect the streamer and I kind of know boundaries. Mr. Lattenhouse says you got to be street smart on Twitch. Some people will get upset, but don't come watch me then, and then I sure as hell won't watch you. Yeah, that's the change of channel, Mr. Lattenhouse. That is. Tang Fever, to be quick or to be good. I choose neither. Good and quick, I think is actually the best, oh yeah, Mr. Lattenhouse will go hood on you. That's right. Go hood, yo. But I'm not gangster. I'm not hood. But old white guy. I don't know. But so I think, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say again that I so appreciate those of you that come out here and hang out and put up with me for an hour or so. DJ Ryan says I'm an ass in his chat. Yeah, it's because he's got such a nice ass, though. What are you going to do? But on Tuesdays, I enjoy just coming out and mouthing off. Sometimes I have a hard time thinking about content, what I'm going to talk about, but those of you in the chat, when you're chatting and you give me stuff to work off of, I appreciate that. Mr. Latin has paid me to come around. Yes, I pay my shills. I pay my shills to come. When is your next? You have a major raid train coming up, don't you, Mr. Latin House? Are you looking for DJs? Sam Nations has got his weekly music battle going on. You're retired? Wow. Okay. Oh, that's right. I think you said that. Sam Nation, follow Sam Nation. He's got a great done music battle going on. No more trains, Mr. Latin House. We talked about raid trains a few times back. Are you tired of the battle of putting on trains? Although if we start this raid train rant, we're gonna keep going here. So maybe I'll hold that off for another week or so. But Mr. Latin House was putting on some amazing long 5-day 70-something DJ raid trains. I've talked about this before. A couple of years ago, I did a raid train for one of my mods for her birthday, and I think I had 7 or 8 DJs, and I did that, and I said never again. I mean, I want a 1-day little raid train. It's just if you're the conductor, if you're the promoter of the raid train, you pretty much got to be there the whole time. If the train gets derailed, I mean, and I got stories, and some of you know the stories I have about my raid trains. And they get nothing for it, basically. Now, Mr. Latin House's, most of his raid trains were for a cause. So he may not be putting any money into his particular pocket. It may not be for him, but for his causes. That's what he was important. I had a raid train for Tennessee Girl a couple years ago, and fortunately she was sick. My camera went out of focus. See, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. I don't know why my camera does that. Because I'm not really moving. It's like, whoa, there's my hand. Maybe I'll have a raid train to make money so I can buy a new camera. What do you think? I don't know. I'm back now. A couple weeks ago I was doing a show and I didn't know it. Nobody said anything, and I recorded it. I uploaded it to YouTube, and I was watching it. I'm like, well, holy crap! I'm out of focus like 95% of the time. You're just trying to make me look better. Chuck Fund, a new camera raid train. Sam Nation can put that on for me. All right. What do you say we call this a day? I'm gonna play music for a half hour or something to kind of get it out of me. I do appreciate the support that everybody shows me. The fact that you're here, Dance DJ Deb, the fact that she's here, before I even before I even start streaming, she's there, and that's totally amazing to me. So I do want to say thank you to everybody, and give me a couple seconds here to reset, and then we're going to we're gonna play some music. All right, thank you all, and I'll hopefully see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Chat with Chuck. Have something you want Chuck to riff about? Send him a whisper and get ready to be entertained. I'm Greg Murray. Thanks for listening.